understand just how the world and beings are from the very outset pure and empty. All appearing objects, empty of true being, are like castles in the clouds. All mental states, by nature empty, are like castles in the clouds. Both sense objects and mind are empty. They're like castles in the clouds. The slightest clinging or fixation just leave it where it is. How is this accomplished? Do not let your mind manipulate phenomena appearing without existing. Simply leave them without grasping. Original delusion is itself the fruit of all such grasping and fixation. And therefore, you should know the state devoid of clinging. The sublime and spotless nature of phenomena. Phenomena themselves, and utter peace, the state beyond all sorrow, are not existent entities. Understand that all phenomena, things and non-things both, all are empty, without true existence. They resemble castles in the clouds. They are like the vast abyss of space, primordially unborn, the state of utter peace. No desire is found therein. Ignorance and anger, jealousy and pride are not observed. So therefore, understand that these and all thoughts are like castles in the clouds. Defilements, void of real existence, and enlightenment, the nature of the mind, are not two different things. Know that they're like space. They are both equal and immaculate. The nature of samsara is nirvana from the outset. Deluded thoughts subside completely, like the clouds that melt into the sky. Know that they subside there whence they came. Preserve this state of utter peace, primordial wisdom, empty, luminous. state of unborn nature, no thoughts, no sense objects are found. And yet, until the show of their arising melts into the ultimate expanse, cut through the root of your delusion, ordinary thought. Action and non-action are not two. Not two are taking and rejecting. And yet, as long as in your mind you cling to self and real existence, I urge you to rely upon profound instructions, antidotes for your defilements. Not two are outer things and inner mental states. Both sink into the nature of the mind. Wise you are, if this you understand. Regarding how to meditate this point, first perform the preliminaries, and in the main part of the practice, know with a complete conviction, all things are like castles in the clouds. Form appears and yet is empty, like a castle in the clouds. Sound, smell, taste, touch, mental objects. All these six are castles in the clouds. The mind its affirmations and negations, all arising thoughts are castles in the clouds. On all this, meditate with clarity. At all times, day and night, reflect just as before that all appearing things are castles in the clouds. Having seen that all compounded things resemble castles in the clouds, you should settle in their absence of reality. Your mind's proliferations all will cease, and self-arisen, clear and empty luminosity will manifest from deep within. Even in your dreams, you will see everything as cities of Gandharvas in the clouds. And as belief in the reality of things subsides, the dualistic chain of apprehender, apprehended breaks. All bonds and all habitual tendencies subside, and freedom is achieved. Meditate, therefore, upon these castles in the clouds. to come to a decisive experience of the naturally limpid ocean within the pristine state of utter lucidity. You hold to your own place as a supreme, unwavering state of equalness. Concerning phenomena that manifest as myriad sense objects, without thinking in any way, this is how to rest. Rest spontaneously in the naturally settled state, free of the proliferation and resolution of thoughts. Abide as a matter of course within the expanse of equalness, the true nature of phenomena. This is simply a case of identification, without cultivating some reference point in meditation. Hold your upper body erect. Let your gaze rest openly by focusing your eyes on the space in front or on the far distance. Or you can alternate between these. Allow your awareness to expand. Let your 5 senses remain naturally expansive. By meditating in this way, you pass into an openness in which there is no division into outer and inner, or in between. When you experience the very essence of awareness in all its limpidity, the way in which things manifest is continuous and vivid. Within this context, you experience self-knowing awareness, resting in its true nature. Which does not involve any proliferation or resolution of thoughts. Since all phenomena are unsullied and free of elaboration, this key point that they are not created and are free in their natural state is supreme. The key point concerning the cessation of causes, the fading away of conditions, and the falling away of results, is that the expanse of being itself is a single factor that ensures freedom without relying on anything at all. Resting in the natural state without seeking anything. Without any specific method concerning how or when to rest. That is meditation. You also hold to your own place as the unobstructed state of natural lucidity in all its nakedness. neither focusing your senses on nor letting your gaze wander to the manifestations of sensory appearances in all their variety. Neither thinking of self nor conceiving of other. Rest, naturally lucid in the supremely spacious state of complete openness. The metaphor is that of reflections arising in a limpid ocean. Your body is unmoving. Your legs crossed in Vajra posture. Your gaze does not waver, but is clear and rests straight ahead. You do not block sense objects, and they manifest clearly in all their variety. You are in a non-conceptual state of mind. For the proliferation and resolution of thoughts are naturally cut through. You rest in unobstructed awareness. Abide continuously and unobstructedly in the essence of awareness which is like the reflection of planets and stars in a limpid ocean. One abides in the supremely unobstructed state of things in all their variety, without this ever being just a conceptual ideation. Freedom from restriction is extolled as an infinitely even state of spaciousness. Meditative experiences arise of your physical body blending with space. Of states of bliss, clarity, and non-conceptual awareness. Or of a supreme, unobstructed state of naked awareness. You may feel that all sensory appearances become transparent, or that your consciousness becomes unobstructed and completely open, with no trace of thoughts remaining. Or that anything can and does arise within a state that is nothing whatsoever in itself. Thus you have experienced everything decisively as empty, free of restriction and unobstructed. You may feel that no matter how you analyze and contemplate, you cannot find any thoughts by searching for them. That it is now impossible for them to occur. That they never did occur. And that no one has them at present. You may ask yourself, what is all this talk about so many thoughts? Meditative experiences of unobstructed awareness arise in a way that cannot be expressed with words. Awareness's own manifestations have no actual substance. The unchanging, inherently pristine nature of phenomena, in which everything is equal, is the universal environment. Awareness's own manifestations abide, vividly present, in non-conceptual oneness. To be free of the concepts of intellectual speculation is the great perfection.
Breathing in, I relax my body. You can only relax your body when you stop. So your in-breath has the capacity of stopping. And when your in-breath has the capacity of stopping, it becomes very pleasant. Your in-breath is not an act of fighting anymore. It's not an act of struggling. It is deeply enjoyable. Every in-breath has a power to heal. Every in-breath allows your body to heal. Breathing in, you feel that your stomach is rising. Breathing out, you feel the stomach is falling. You practice mindful, deep breathing. Bring your mind down to the level of the stomach. focus your attention on the rising and falling of the stomach. Breathing in, I know the stomach is rising. Breathing out, I know it's falling. Breathe as deeply as possible and focus your attention only on the rising and falling of the stomach. Breathing in, I know that a strong emotion is something that comes, stay for a while, and goes. It's impermanent. And emotion is just a tiny thing. But you are much more than an emotion.
Homage to glorious Vajrasattva. All things emerging from the state of evenness unborn are but the great display of primal wisdom, non-dual and illusory. Through never being parted from this unborn state, I bow down to the nature of my mind, the King, who from the first is self-arisen. That you may understand the perfect teaching of the Conqueror, that all things are by nature the two aspects of illusion. Here I have distilled the sappy essence of the sutras, tantras, pith instructions. Listen, I shall set it forth as I myself experience it.
So just listening, focusing on the breathing, don't try to understand. Use the understanding energy to just listen and focus on the breathing. And like Thich Nhat Hanh said, deep breathing. Breathing out as deeply as you can, breathing in as deeply as you can. Eyes closed, concentrating on listening and breathing.
The ground's expanse beyond all change, the vast sky of the nature of the mind, is empty, luminous, and free from mind's elaboration. Therein, like the sun, the moon, and all the stars, the pure, unstained phenomena of Buddhahood are present of themselves. The threefold kaya, never sundered from the five primordial wisdoms, and all the qualities of luminosity naturally complete. This primal, fundamental, natural state is said to be the entirely pure illusion of the ground. Within this ground, through co-emergent ignorance, like sleep that brings forth dreams, which are like clouds of momentary illusion, and through conceptual ignorance, the mind impaired by apprehension of duality, where there is no duality, there appear the various false appearances of the 6 migrations, similar to dreams. though non-existent, yet appearing still. Beings feel different pains and pleasures, habits gained through long, protracted time. Places, bodies, property, and more are but their mind's experience. Joys and pains, the wages of both good and evil deeds, resemble drawings traced in varying forms. And from one delusion, many more are spawned. Apprehended thus in multiplicity, these false appearances arise in seamless continuity. Emaho, existence is, by nature, like a dream. Within the single nature of the self-arisen mind, through ignorance's sleep, a dualistic subject-object apprehension of false appearances occurs. These dream visions, manifold and various, are nothing other than the mind itself. Illusions that arise through false perception. This, the conqueror himself has said. To those intoxicated by datura, various things appear, hallucinations one and all. Through the intoxication likewise of the sleep of ignorance, the 6 migrations manifest to the deluded mind. Now, therefore, you should understand they are not truly there. From deluded thought derives perception, equally deluded, and thence delusory appearances. Not true, not false, not both. Beyond the ordinary mind, They should in truth be named awareness, self-arisen, self-cognizing. They are without identity, without existence, a vast expanse where all extremes subside. Know them to be similar to space, the wisdom mind of the victorious ones. Things are dreamlike. In the very moment they appear, no intrinsic being do they have at all. And yet their features are not lost. To their appearance, there's no hindrance. Carefully investigate these false and momentary forms. In every aspect, empty. They are neither false nor true, not existent, yet not non-existent. Beyond all ontological extremes. They are like space, beyond both thought and word. Know that they are pure primordially. Thus, by means of such a view, you gain clear understanding that all things in samsara and nirvana are like dreams. I shall now explain how, through your meditation, you will bring this into your experience. Adopt a cross-legged posture on a pleasant seat. Take refuge and engender bodhicitta. Now think. Intensely meditate that in the state of emptiness, of perfect evenness, all things appear like magical illusions. Then visualize above your head, upon the center of a lotus, and on discs of sun and moon, amid a host of deities and dakinis, your own root teacher, never separate from the teachers of the lineage. Make offerings and praise, and pray that you may train successfully in seeing all things as a dream. Then yourself and all phenomenal existence dissolve in light that melts into your teacher. Rest then for a moment in a space-like state of meditation. Blessings, realization thus will naturally occur. Then meditate according to the main part of the practice. Tell yourself repeatedly, grow used to it, that outwardly all mountains, valleys, regions, towns, the earth, fire, water, wind, and space, sentient beings and the rest, the 5 sense objects, form, sound, texture, smell, and taste. And inwardly, the body, faculties of sense, and consciousness are nothing more than dreams. All past things occurring till today are mental objects, just like last night's dreams. Today's appearances, perceived yet non-existent, are but the mind's delusion. They're just like what you dreamt about last night and what you'll dream about tonight. The things that will appear tomorrow and the night that follows after are but dreams in store. Remember this, that all things that appear, the joy you want, the pain that you prevent, are simply dreams. Not even for an instant should you think them true. When moving, sitting, eating, walking, speaking, tell yourself with undistracted mindfulness, it's all a dream. Whatever may appear, whatever you may do or think, never lose the thought that it is but a dream. All is without true existence, intangible, uncertain, evanescent, insubstantial, indefinable. Train yourself in this great state in which there's nothing to be grasped. Through thinking that the object to be apprehended is a dream, a false appearance, the cognition of the apprehended is removed, and the apprehender too, by implication. For if the object is negated, so too is the subject. This mind that estimates appearances as dreams, if now and then you really search for it, out or in, or somewhere in between, there's no way to identify it. No point on which to set your bearings. There is a state of openness, like boundless space. Devoid of the wild frenzy of your memories and plans. Awareness, luminous and empty, free of all conceptual construction, arises of its own accord. When the apprehender ceases, the apprehended also is no more. When the subject has withdrawn, all holding of an object vanishes. Then there is no link with an appearing object. The framework of discernment falls away. Then there's simply primal wisdom, non-dual, self-arisen. When indeed you realize and grow used to this, because the apprehended and the apprehender are averted, the assumption that the object and the mind are real subsides, and an experience then arises where there is no apprehension of appearing things as being this or that. All that appears arises rootless and primordially empty. This is the pristine, fundamental nature. By degrees, the apprehension of appearing objects as being truly this or that is, impure dependent nature, is arrested, and pure dependent nature is then actualized. It is like the vanishing of deluded dreams at the moment when one wakes from sleep. Then, in the primordial ground, manifest enlightenment occurs. Hallucinations are not present in the past. They are not present in the future. It is only now that they appear. They are perceived, yet from the moment of appearing, they are without existence. Non-existent, they appear to the deluded mind according to its habits. And yet by nature, they're primordially pure. They resemble dreams. When you are not sleeping, when you are awake, the things appearing in your dreams do not exist. Only in your sleep do they occur. And in the moment they appear, they have no real existence. In just the same way, you should understand the non-existent things that yet appear have neither ground nor root. Meditating strongly in this way by day, at night as you are sinking into sleep upon a comfortable bed, stretch out on your right side as the Lord lay down before he passed beyond all sorrow, breathing very slowly and with steady gaze. Visualize within your heart a crystal sphere in which there is a letter A, white in colour and ablaze with light. It is the size of your own thumb, becoming even smaller as you concentrate on it. Without distraction, bear in mind that it is like a dream. In this way, dreamlike luminosity will manifest. At first, when you have frightening nightmares, recall that they are dreams. Your fear will dissipate at once. To recognize one's dreams as dreams is to be concentrated, it is said. While in the state of dreaming, this practitioners should understand. Train then to recognize that all dreams are unreal. Appearances of things without existence are no more than the mind's delusion, dreamlike and ungraspable. Since they are neither true nor false, know then that they transcend the reach of ordinary mind. Concerning the assumption and the transformation of a form while dreaming, assume the form of Brahma, of the Buddha, of a Bodhisattva, or of something else, according to your wish. Thus train yourself and place yourself within their unreality. Then, in successive moments, change your form according to your wish, from Brahma into Indra, or else from a divine into a human being. Meditate upon the unreality of all such forms. Then multiply all such appearances, 100 or 1,000 or 1,000,000-fold. Train yourself in mastery of antidotes that subdue all that is to be subdued. Then you may journey in your dreams to pure fields, various lands and realms, to Akanishta, and wherever you may wish. And there you will behold the Sugatas. Listen to their stainless words and train yourself in wisdom, concentration, clouds of Dharanis. Through your training, thus with mindfulness, continually, both day and night, all this will come to pass. For this is the unfailing quality of your awareness, which thus will be made manifest. All this is the essential pith of teachings most profound. Meditating thus by day and night upon your dreams, you will escape the snare of thinking that phenomena are truly real. Through fences, walls, and mountains, you will pass unhindered. You will gain unnumbered wondrous powers, clairvoyance, concentrations, innumerable experiences you'll have and realizations, and sublime, primordial wisdom will arise. you will come at last to the primordial expanse, the nature of the mind, and gain the dreamlike twofold goal: the Dharmakaya for your own sake, and the Rupakaya for the sake of others. Meditate, therefore, that all is like a dream.
Any questions? Oh, I said, any questions? Stop trying to amplify. You're not going to be able to do that. Stop fixating on a particular feeling or meditation. Practice consistently, all the time, more and more. Practice in that way. Practice more. Practice more, then you'll be able to practice more. More and more and more and more. Well, you went insane because you're relying on your thoughts, you're believing in your thoughts. So we need to practice mindfulness and detachment. It doesn't matter what you think. Just ignore it. Don't believe it. Don't follow it. Stop believing in yourself. All thoughts are wrong thoughts. All thoughts are illusions.
So you always emphasize that it's important to question why we're doing what we're doing. So, for example, trying to practice to abandon sensuality, it's important in order to do that properly to understand what the problem with sensuality actually is. So I thought an interesting way of framing that reflection might be what would hypothetically have to change in order for sensuality to no longer be a problem?
So I think the main thing would be, like hypothetically, if sensuality, sensual desire, engaging with sensual desire, if that would not have the same effect on chitta that it has, then it wouldn't be a problem. So it's not like, sometimes people say it's like, oh, sensuality, it's because it's harming others and stuff. But you can get sensual desire that don't involve others, that don't really harm others. But you cannot have sensual desires that do not harm the mind. Now, when I say harm the mind, I don't mean it's like some obvious torture or torment inflicted because of the sensual desire. But I mean, in a subtle way, the sensuality is that which keeps the animal liable to be affected by everything else that we'll experience through the senses. So it's impossible to engage in with sensuality without reinforcing that very nature of wilderness of that animal. So, like the best example would be like, as I gave it many times, you like the suttas, you gave it a wild elephant. So sensuality is what keeps it wild. Now, obviously, a lot of sensuality, a lot of non-restraint will make it even wilder. So really the question like, well, why is sensuality a problem then, should be reframed as like, why is having a wild mind a problem, at least to some degree? Because when I say wild, I don't mean only the one extreme of that wilderness. I mean, even a little bit traces of old wilderness tendencies, if they are left, they are a problem. And for as long as there is at least a degree of sensuality that's not being perceived as dangerous, as unworthy, as something that should be infinitely abandoned, there's going to be some wilderness tendency left. So why sensuality a problem is why are wilderness tendencies left? Why are wilderness tendencies a problem? It's for the very reason that when that same animal doesn't get what it wants, or he gets what he doesn't want, or he loses what it had, or he doesn't have enough for what desires, it will turn against you. It will be agitated, it will be affected, it will be displeased, and you are the one that will pay the price. So that's why there is no like, oh, this little sensuality is fine. Any action, any project, any intention rooted in the desire for the pleasure of the senses carries that wilderness. And that's what the Buddha said. It's like, even, well, he compared sensuality. It doesn't matter like, oh, well, it's not as much. Sure, it's better to not have as much sensuality, have less, but it's still sensuality. So from the point of view of somebody who wants to be truly like free and imperturbable and not liable to suffering, the entire domain, the entire spectrum of sensual intensities needs to be regarded in the same manner. And that's what the Buddha said, whether it's a lot or a little, it's the same like feces. Even a tiny little bit of feces, it's still shit, basically. It's still the same smell, same taste, same disgust. Whether it's a lot, whether it's little, it's still the same thing that you don't want anything to do with. So if, hypothetically, sensuality had absolutely no effect on the wilderness of chitta, like to make it more wild or to keep it wild or to maintain the underlying tendencies and so on, it would not be a problem. it just would not be an issue. Like other things that do not play into that principle of keeping that connection with the wilderness from which you're trying to pull back the elephant, the mind, and tame it. If you had no connection to that, there will be no problem. And things that don't have connection, they're not a problem. That's why, again, your intention is the most important thing that you need to be perpetually aware of. Not the sensations, not the whatever else practices you, but your currently enduring intention. What is it that your mind wants? Are you losing perspective in regard to that? Or are you maintaining the perspective and not allowing it if it's rooted in these desires of sense pleasures, irritation, and so on? Because that's really the practice. It's like if you keep an eye on it, then the mind cannot just go there on its own. And that's how you would eventually calm it. And as the suttas say, sever the tendencies of elephant to want to go back to the forest. And after that, it's like, your chitta is pliable. Then if you say, directed towards the destruction of taints, the taints are destroyed. Directed towards remembering the past lives are remembered. But not before the pliability is developed. Like, you might get a right view before the pliability is fully developed. Because it's not like you got to fully train the chitta before any understanding of Dhamma can take place. So the understanding of Dhamma will gradually start taking place sooner. That's why you have Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami. But the attitude of taming the mind away from the wilderness is an absolute must. That's why, again, all the suttas, they don't talk in terms of like these specificities. I'm sure he did, but he hasn't been like recorded anymore. But one thing that does remain unchanged is mind has to be above the hindrances, freed at least to a degree, sufficiently enough kept away from the wilderness tendencies, from the hindrances, for the possibility of understanding of the Dhamma to take place, if there is right instruction, right reflection, honesty, and everything else we talk about. But if you have everything else, honesty, right instruction, right reflection, everything, but you haven't sufficiently dried the mind, not just from physical acts of sensuality, but mental intentions, like none of that will make a difference. None of that can make the fire of wisdom light up. So that's why it's like, it's really like not negotiable. And if people do struggle to kind of say no to sensuality, yeah, it is definitely helpful to realize why even a little bit of conscious giving into these things carries the same weight, the same implications, and keeps the mind tethered to the same wilderness. So sooner or later, if circumstances change, if you lose your composure for one reason or the other, that thread will pull the whole thing back. And then you have, again, the massive suffering waiting for you that you have to deal with. And that's exactly what the suttas meant when he said, even like those monks that were practicing rightly, but then became careless and overly confident, or maybe just complacent, and were satisfied with understanding the Dhamma and taming the mind to a degree and so on. And then they chose to go follow desire a little bit more, which then led to a little bit more, which led to a little bit more, which then from their starting point was actually a lot more now. And then it says, and that's monks when then they experience death or deathly suffering as of those who are dying on account of the mind now reinfected with sensuality. They can't lose the wisdom, Sotapanna can't lose his wisdom of Sotapatti. But if he becomes careless and starts engaging with sensuality, because yes, overall, wisdom remains unchanged, the animal is still going to be something he's paired with and something he'll have to put up with, and it's going to be worse for him. Because somebody who doesn't have perspective, who never experienced correctly calmed animal due to the right view and understanding, for them it's all they know. So it doesn't matter the absolutely wild raging chitta, it's kind of almost every day, so it's kind of fine. They don't really see the difference. But for somebody who has calmed the chitta enough, saw it, withdraw it from sensuality, dried it up, got the right view, established in that view, and then allows their mind to go back, the discrepancy, it's like dying or pains of those of dying. Because it's just like you can't ignore obviously the right context, but you let your mind go back to basically what fully, well, not fully understood, because if it was fully understood, Sotapanna would have not have kind of returned to it. But it was certainly the framework of it, of like the whole like samsara and the aggregates has been sufficiently understood, and now you let the mind go back into it. So like the weight, the impurity of it will be felt a lot worse and a lot more unpleasantly. So that's again because that principle just cannot change. Sensuality always partakes in the wilderness, always keeps the mind wild, and if it's not uprooted, it always carries the risk of pulling the animal back. And then again, you will be the one who has to pay the price for it.
So we can practice meditation together like this. It's very healthy, very good for us. Just breathing and being with those very subtle feelings, subtle energies. We come here and we come to spirituality because we're suffering. We're aware of suffering. And sometimes sitting like this called paying our Zen taxes. So we might have a Zen perspective or a non-dual perspective. But we sit with the shit. We sit in the shit. Practice mindfulness and detachment. Maintain mindfulness. This is the 4th day fasting. So I do feel like I'm starving. It's ringing in my ears about this, like any sensuality is bad. Any pursuit of sensuality, which can be, enjoying through the eyes, enjoying through the ears, that intention to enjoy through senses is going to be a problem, cause suffering, basically. And that is so difficult because I don't want to suffer. I want to enjoy. I want to enjoy myself. I don't want to feel suffering. I don't want to deal with suffering. I want to distract myself with suffering. I know that for sure. I don't want to deal with suffering. I don't want to understand suffering more. I want to get rid of it. I want to run away from it as fast as I possibly can. I don't want to feel it more deeply. I don't want to sit there and feel suffering. And yet, when we practice like this, when we do this, we develop the power of mindfulness, the energy of mindfulness. And that energy of mindfulness can allow us to transform suffering into happiness. But it's also where our goodness is. If we have no mindfulness, there is no goodness. Mindfulness is goodness. So mindfulness is not about someone. Mindfulness is not about something. Mindfulness is not about somewhere. there's a kind of deep anger or frustration that comes up. I do not want to feel this anymore. And gets to a certain point where you also don't want to run away from it anymore. This is called a great angry determination. To wake up, to see through, to not avoid, to not seek, just to get to the very core and the root of suffering. And this is the bodhicitta and the compassion as well. This deep, deep, deep aspiration, this deep want for suffering to come to an end. And if we cultivate this want, this desire for suffering to come to an end by being very close, very embraced to that desire, that will spread out through our minds and through our lives. This embodied energy of wanting suffering to come to an end. You're not going to have that energy if you don't get right up close to that suffering in every way that you can. We have this idea that, we really, on an instinctual level, almost like on a genetic level, concerned with our mind, right? How our mind works. If something feels good, it is good. If something feels bad, it is bad. And that is not correct. It's not right. In fact, it's wrong. You sit for an hour, you sit for 2 hours, the pain gets too much, unfold your legs, pain goes away, fold your legs again, and keep meditating. That's what it is. There's nothing magical about it. The only thing magical about it is how horrible it is. And how defeated you become in the practice of that. So what you need is a definitive defeat. You need to be the self, the you, the me, the I. The true thinking needs a definitive defeat, a definitive end, an undeniable end. You need to realize for yourself at the deepest level that the First Noble Truth is true, that life is suffering. we have to learn this practice of not ruminating, but you have to detach. You don't need to solve it. You don't need to understand it. You don't need to work through it. You need to detach. That's it. You need to actualize detachment. That's it. Don't think about it. Just detach from that. You need to keep doing that, keep doing that, keep doing that, keep doing that. Doesn't matter what the thought is, doesn't matter what the thing is, doesn't matter what the dynamic is, doesn't matter what the paradigm is. It doesn't matter. This is for you. This is for your enlightenment. And along the way, and as a practice method, we can help a lot of people, but fundamentally, this is your mind. So it doesn't matter what the excuse is or what the idea is or what the narrative is. Detach from that. Again and again and again and again and again and again and again. Is it possible to play PUBG with mindfulness and detachment? Well, let's find out, eh? Let's find out.